Different females' bodies handle pregnancy differently. So yeah, it's possible that a 12-year-old girl can give birth with or without minor or severe complications. Given that she's started menstruating, however, she shouldn't. Motherhood is not easy, and this is coming from one who had her first child at 14. Being a mother's heart and my birth was downright traumatizing. The doctors assumed I wouldn't be able to give birth without intervention at 14, so they scheduled an induction and had 1 million people in the room, students taking notes, multiple doctors prepared to save my life or my son's. Turns out my body was physically capable of birth. I didn't even have stitches. The way it happened, however, was traumatizing for a child who didn't even know what really can happen when you give birth, even without complications. I won't go into too much detail about my first labor, but luckily my second labor at 18 was far less pleasant. At 12 years old just isn't ready for anything that motherhood has to bring and will inevitably lose their childhood over it, even if they're physically able to have a child. The proud father of a 12-year-old girl who has become Britain's youngest mother insisted yesterday that he would rather she had fallen pregnant than find she is on drugs. The schoolgirl, who became pregnant by her 13-year-old boyfriend when she was still in primary school at the age of 11, gave birth to a 7-pound, 4-ounce girl on Sunday. At 12 years and 3 months, she is 5 months younger than the previous youngest UK mother. The Year 7 pupil and the baby's father, who are said to be totally in love and who have been going out for a year, are believed to be Britain's youngest parents. Yesterday, her father said that he would stand by his daughter but admitted that he broke down with emotion when discovering only 4 weeks ago that his eldest daughter was about to give birth. Last night, her father, who found out she was pregnant only a month ago, said, "I would rather have her come home and had this than find out she was on drugs at 11 or 12. There's plenty of routes kids this age can go down. She's brought something beautiful into this world. That little girl doesn't bring shame to me at all. I'm so proud of her. Shame doesn't even come into it. We didn't know this was happening." Unfortunately, kids this age are going to grow up to have boyfriends and partners or whatever if they do things behind their parents' back. That's something we're never going to be able to find out. The man from North London no longer lives with the girl's mother, who has become a grandmother at 27, describing himself as a proud parent and using a false name to protect the identity of the girl. He told LBC Radio that both sets of parents were supporting the youngsters. He described the 13-year-old boy, whose identity has also been withheld, as a great kid. The girl's father told Nick Ferrari on LBC, "We only found out she was pregnant a month ago. That means she's 8 months pregnant. The baby is going to come into this world no matter what. You can just be supportive about it. Families on both sides are going to be very supportive about it. It's heartbreaking, but you can't turn back time. You can only go forwards. We don't know where it happened. What you're implying is that we knew they were having sexual intercourse in bedrooms. No." He said he would not let his 3-year-old daughter and 9-year-old son make the same mistake, but denied that he could have prevented it. He added, "We cannot keep her wrapped up her whole life. I cannot keep her wrapped up all her life. She goes to school, they spend time together. You can't stop this. I cannot go out and watch my little girl 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not possible. It won't be happening again. What's happened has happened because you give your children a bit of slack. So now we'll be keeping an eye on people. Maybe we could have done more. They made a mistake, and that's the thing we've got to deal with now, and just be proud of what we've got." The pair have the lowest combined age of any British parents on record. She, at 12 years and 3 months, is 5 months younger than Britain's previous youngest mother, Tressa Middleton. Their child weighed 7 pounds, close to the UK average for a girl of 7 pounds. 4 ounces, the Sun reported. At 27, the girl's mother, who was a teenage mother herself, is now one of Britain's youngest grandmothers. The parents from North London have been in a relationship for a year and say they are totally in love. They met over Christmas 2012 in a park when she was 10 and he was 12, it was reported. The girl's father added, "I can't keep a watch on her 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't know what's going on, and once the mistake's been made, you can only support them." On Tuesday, the new mother, who has a 3-year-old sister and 9-year-old brother, reportedly went to a register office to register the birth with her own mother and another woman. The families on both sides are going to be very supportive about it. It's heartbreaking, but you can't turn back time. You can only go forwards. Her grandmother, aged 56, is now a great-grandmother and was shocked by the news. The girl's father said that he cried when learning of the pregnancy 4 weeks before the birth and she apologized to him. The girl's father insisted his grandchild will not be brought up on benefits. He told LBC, "I come from a working background, we are not scrounging off the social like other people are suggesting. I work, I own my own business, I'm fully going to support them with my own money. We're not scroungers. I'll sit there and we'll support this baby as best I can with my own money." He said his other children, a boy of 9 and a girl of 3, do not fully understand what's happened, adding, "It's shocking at first, but I don't think they understand the fact that she's a mum. It won't be happening again now. We'll be keeping an eye on people. I don't want this to happen again. Maybe we could have done more." It's thought that social services will now be giving the couple support, although a health visitor could suffice, unless the child is being seen at risk, a source told The Sun. Both sets of grandparents are incredibly supportive. It's a very difficult situation because the parents are both so young, but the families are right behind them. The baby's mum and dad have been in a relationship for more than a year, so this isn't a fleeting romance. They intend to stick together and bring their daughter up together. They're very into each other, totally in love. She's obsessed with him. She sees this as true love. They want to get married, the source told our classmates at the mother's school have been left shocked. The girl only left classes last month and, it was said, did not look pregnant. On claims that the couple want to marry. The girl's father said they're not going to get married, but I couldn't say that in 6 years. I'd like to think they're going to turn out to be one happy family. He added, "We've spoken to them, kids of this age, when they have boyfriends, they sometimes become besotted with people. What's happened has happened. We can't bury our kids forever. They do need a life." Britain's youngest mother, Trussa Middleton, became pregnant at 11 and gave birth at 12 in Edinburgh in 2016. The youngest father on record is Sean Stewart of Bedford, who became a father at age 12 in 1998. Famously, in 2009, L.V. Patton from Eastbourne, East Sussex, told a newspaper that he believed he had made his 15-year-old girlfriend pregnant when he was just 12. DNA tests then established that a 15-year-old boy was the father of Chantal Stedman's baby, leaving Alfie distressed. But 2 years later, Chantal insisted that Alfie was indeed the father. Hilary Panic, chief executive of teenage pregnancy charity Straight Talking, told Mail Online, "I know girls who have been pregnant at 13 and have had the baby, and I've heard of 12-year-olds before. Girls are going into puberty earlier. Certainly there are health implications of girls having babies quite so young. We know that the health statistics for teenage parents are not good. Certainly it robs young people of their childhood. The chances of them staying together are very low, and the benefits system doesn't encourage it." She added, "It's not the end of their life, but they will be dependent on others both financially and emotionally. I would tell them what my teenage parents working for us tell me, it's not the end of their life, but they will be dependent on others both financially and emotionally. They tell me that they love their children. They don't regret having their children, but they wish they had waited until they were in a financial position to support their child. We know that teenage parents are more likely to have children who are teenage children. They're going to live on the state unless the parents are wealthy enough to support them. The risk of physical complications are quite high. Although with modern medicine, many give birth safely, it's still not advisable. Continuing to carry a pregnancy to term should never be considered in a 12-year-old's best interests. One particularly nasty complication is fistulas, where the anus and pelvis fuse together for lack of a developed pelvic floor. Before modern medicine, this would cause many girls to die of starvation and/or fecal infections. The bigger problem, though, at least in the development world where medicine is available, is that a 12-year-old has a baby and a 12-year-old, no matter how mature, is not old enough to care for a baby. The legal framework doesn't exist for 12-year-old parents. They can't consent to their own child's medical treatments. In most American states, the social supports are frequently not there. A 12-year-old's pregnancy is the result of a crime, except in the rare case it comes from another 12-year-old, which is not true in most cases. Therefore, therapy and extra treatment is needed. Even in cases where an adoption is processed. It's often inadvisable because a 12-year-old is not old enough to comprehend giving up a child for adoption, nor are they legally old enough in many states. If you have a baby, you don't have time for any of these things. You'd have to take care of the baby. Sure, you could hire a babysitter, but again, money. Also, what about your teenage years and early adulthood? Firstly, giving birth. Giving birth at 12 years old will most likely not end well. The baby could be stillborn. You could die giving birth because your body is most likely underdeveloped and many more things like this. And how are you even going to pay the hospital bills? Maybe your parents would, but this could lead to many more problems. You've robbed this girl over childhood and she'll have lifelong consequences. Enjoy your preteen and teenage years while you can. You have your whole life and eventually you'll be able to have a child when you're grown and financially stable.